and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hold it, you're not that pretty. Come on, man. Wait. I still got the wall.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is the final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the bungle fight. Thank you.
You call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Split Decision episode 80. With me today, I have a very, very special guest, the one and only, the boogeyman at 168, arguably number one at 168, David Benavidez. How you doing, champ?
I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm in Big Bear, California right now. I just finished up with a good workout, good day of sparring too. So, we're just in here working, man. I'm working towards March 13th is my next fight. So, I'm just working hard to give you guys, give you guys a great performance.
You obviously have a fight coming up against Ronaldo Ellis. So how's been, preparation been for this camp so far?
Everything has been amazing, man. We got up here December 12th, so we already have 8 weeks training. We still got 5 weeks training, so by the time we're going to be done, we're going to have 13 weeks in total. So, I'm going to be extremely prepared for this fight. I'm not, I know Ronald Ellis is not too known, but I'm not going to take him lightly either, so that's why I came to Big Bear. I'm training for this fight like if it's a world title fight, I feel like you have to take everybody extremely serious. So, I've been working hard, been getting my miles in, been getting my, 12, 15 rounds of sparring in with a lot of sparring partners, and everything has gone amazing up to this point.
Is this your first time in Big Bear, training in Big Bear? Because we know you miscalculated weight last time. So is this your first time going to Big Bear?
No, this is I've had quite a lot of training camps up here, probably like 7 training camps, but I haven't been up here since I fought Porky Medina, so it's been about 3 or 4 years, and obviously, missing weight, doing all that, and getting my belt stripped, that's why I came over here with more time to prepare. So everything's, everything looking smooth now, and making sure the weight is good, everything is on point right now. So I'm looking forward to March 13th.
Yes, sir. And obviously the 168-pound division is very hot right now. Caleb Plant fought not too long ago. He stated that Canelo fight will happen. He said David Benavidez, he had his opportunity. So have Plant ever offered a fight to you? Was there ever an offer presented to you? Because he claiming that you already had your opportunity.
No, I never had an opportunity. I mean, for Caleb, it's typical for Caleb to say that, he thinks he's Floyd Mayweather. He thinks he's A-side or something, saying that, I've had my opportunity. At the end of the day, he needs me as much as I need him. As much as boxing needs that fight, he's not, he's not a shot caller. None of that. I never got offered a fight, So, I feel like even if I have the belt or not, the fight should still happen. If the best should face the best at 168, that fight still needs to happen. But to answer your question, no, I never got offered a fight from him or none of that, But, hopefully the fight will still happen, even though if he takes a loss from Canelo or not, that's not going to discourage. I hope that that doesn't discourage him from fighting me, because I still want to get that fight on at the end of the day.
Oh, so win or lose against Canelo, you still willing to fight Caleb Plant?
Yeah, I'm still going to beat his ass, even if he gets his ass beat by Canelo. It don't matter if he takes a loss or if he's undefeated still. I'm still want to get Caleb Plant in that ring. It doesn't matter if it's for a belt. If it doesn't matter if it's pay-per-view or, Fox TV, Showtime, it doesn't matter. I just want to get that, that fight going on. And I feel like we've been hyping the fight up for almost 3 or 4 years, so why not? I feel like right now is the best time to make it happen. I feel like enough people have called for it. A lot of people want to see that fight. And it will be an interesting fight as well. He's a great fighter. I'm a great fighter too. And that's only a great fight right there. When 2 good fighters go against each other, that's the makings of a great fight right there.
That's a big statement. And obviously, there was a lot of talks of David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. That was the fight to make at 168. How come that fight never got never got finalized or came to fruition? Since both of you guys fight on PBC, you want the fight. So what was holding the fight from taking place?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I mean, everything on my side was good. I've asked for this. I've asked for that fight over and over again. Even if he could say that, oh, he just wants to unify titles and this and that, but his last fight, he didn't unify titles. I mean, I've been in training camp. I fight in 5 weeks. So if he really wanted to make that fight happen, we could have made it happen. Why? I mean, I was already in training camp. We could have, me and him could have fought instead of him fighting Truex. But since he's won the title, he's had nothing but easy fights. He's fought Mike Lee. He's fought what's his name, Feigen Boots, and now he fights a washed up Caleb Truex, which it was a good fight. He did what he had to do. But if Anthony Durrell knocked out Caleb Truex in 3 rounds, if I was supposed to fight Caleb Truex too, but he didn't take the fight. So for him to go 12 rounds, I mean, he was hitting him with a lot of good shots, but he never hurt him once in that fight. So I mean, that kind of says a lot from Caleb's power his power. He doesn't have that pop, especially, with Caleb Truex. He's almost 39, 40 years old. That was a fight for him to look spectacular, to knock out Caleb Truex and, to really, solidify himself as a great champion and one of the best champions right now, as how he claims he is. But he wasn't able to do that. I think it left more questions than answers, to be honest with you.
Right. So what do you give his performance against Truex?
It was a good performance as in a boxing standpoint, just going in there and just, getting hit and not get hit. I give him a 7, 8. But, with those guys, man, you got to knock them out. Caleb Truex was running into everything. He didn't present no power. He didn't present no danger of Caleb to Caleb Plant. So why didn't he go in there and stop him? He was literally hitting him with everything. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he should have went in there and stopped him. But, I mean, it was a good performance. I give him that.
Right. So if you do fight Caleb Plant, what's your prediction?
Me?
On that? Yeah.
I'll knock his ass out. I'll stop his ass. But it's gonna be a bloody fight, I guarantee it, man. This is one of the fights. This is more of a personal fight. This is not about fight of titles, money, none of that. I just want to go in there and get that and make that guy hurt, and that's all I want to do. And when I get in the ring with him, that's what's gonna happen.
And that's one thing the fans love about you. You're willing to fight anybody, anywhere, at any place. Now, obviously, it seemed like Canelo is on a Europe tour right now because he stated that he's not interested in fighting Mexican fighters. What's your thoughts on that statement, knowing the rich history of the Mexican tradition of, the Barrera Morales, the classic legendary wars? So what's your thoughts on Canelo claiming that he no longer going to fight Mexicans?
If that's what he wants to do, then that's on him. That's his opinion. If that's the route he wants to go, I mean, then let him do whatever he wants to do. I feel like he's cash cow right now. He calls the shots. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the only ones that are going to miss out on the good fights and the action are the fans. There's a lot of good Mexican fighters that would love to fight him, but I feel like, he's trying to go another route. But for me, man, I feel like that's why I'm calling everybody out right now. I feel like it's very hard to get that fight with him right now, especially since I don't have a belt. But if I beat, 2 or 3 of these top guys, man, then he's not going to have an option but to fight me, because there's going to be too much people calling for that fight. And that's why right now, I feel like I'm a young veteran, and I have 8 years professional. I've been a professional for 8 years, since I was 15 years old. I'm 24 now, and now I just want a little bit more excitement. I want to go against some bigger guys. I want to go up against some big names, and I want to get them good fights in, because at the end of the day, I'm just here to prove myself to you guys too. I want that title to being the best pound for pound. I want to be the best, and I just want to prove myself to not only to the fans but to myself that I am the best, and all the work I'm doing is for a reason. So that's why I'm calling everybody. I'm willing to fight anybody in this weight class. It does not matter. It doesn't matter to me. I'll fight anybody. And at the end of the day, I feel like my style is a crowd pleasing style. I go up there, and I go, I brawl with the brawlers, man, and I can chase down the boxers too. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever style presents itself, I will always prevail against anybody. It doesn't matter.
Right. Well, obviously, Canelo He was not interested in you when you had a title. But how do you feel that obviously Canelo Alvarez did fight Hispanic fighters in the past, even Mexican fighters, the likes of Chavez Jr., Lopez, Angulo. They didn't present that much threat as you do. So is that pretty much the story? Is that they don't present the threat you bring to the table?
Well, I mean, just look at the styles, man. You know, most of those guys, I'm stronger. You know, I'm faster. I'm younger. You know, I'm a true 168 pounder. You know, so there's going to be a lot of problems that present itself. And then I feel like I'm a big threat to Canelo. But I feel like, you know, as a boxing, not only just being a professional boxer myself, but as a fan too, I feel like if I get him in 2 years, the fight will be way bigger than it is right now. A year or 2 years. That's why I want to go through all these guys, you know, to prove myself and to earn my spot. You know, I've never been given nothing in boxing. You know, so if I got to earn my spot to fight Canelo, then I'm going to earn my spot. Imagine if I beat Charlo, if I beat Caleb Plant, and then I go to fight Canelo, that fight is 100 times bigger than we'll even be right now. And this fight is still going to be huge. It's still huge if it happens now. But if that's what I got to do, you know, if I got to prove myself, then I'm all up for it. You know, it doesn't matter to me. Right now, I want the best of the best. And whoever I get, you know, I'm going to beat.
Well, obviously, you're the youngest 168 champion of all time that won the title at 20 years old. There's no secret about that. Now, obviously, Canelo is fighting for your title against Avni, who's coming off a loss and a 2-year layoff. Canelo been receiving a lot of backlash because he's on the top pound for pound, and he's fighting a guy coming off a loss when the fans wanted him to fight you for that belt, since you pretty much got stripped of the belt due to a miscalculation in weight. So what's your thoughts on Canelo versus Avni? You know, a fighter, you know, coming off a loss and a 2-year layoff.
First of all, the thing that's gonna fuck Yildirim up is that layoff. You know, this is a big layoff, especially to go up against one of the best fighters today. So I feel like I don't think it's gonna be a hard fight for Canelo. You know, I think he knows that too. That's why he requested that fight. But I mean, the thing about that is he's staying active. You know,
Right.
bro, I'm sorry.
Who's staying active? You mean Canelo?
Yeah, Canelo. He's staying active, so he's gonna fight that fight. So I feel like when you're active for that, like, well, probably has like 4 fights lined up already. You know, he has a hard fight in May, so I think he just wants to get these fights going. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure he knows. Everybody knows what's gonna happen in that fight. You know, I think it's gonna be a good fight on Canelo's part, especially, and I think he's gonna get a KO, and then he has a fight in May. But I think he's just trying to stay more active than anything. So, and then when you stay active, you're not going to fight the toughest guys ever, you know, especially with the first fight right there. So with Yildirim, so I feel like he's going to take care of business quick.
Are you surprised that he's able to order the organization to make a fight happen, like requesting Avni to be the mandatory and fight him for your title? Are you surprised he got that type of power on this organization like the WBC?
I mean, I guess when you're the cash cow, you could do whatever you want. So I mean, I'm not surprised, but I mean, it is what it is.
Right, and obviously, you know what's been trending right now is you against Jermall Charlo. Ever since you said, you know, September, you put a date on it, and you called out Charlo. He went on live stating that Benavidez is young and dumb like Lubin. He going to walk you into something. What's your thoughts?
And then he said, what he said, that I need a COVID vaccine in order for me to fight him. He's not fighting nobody under 25 years old. You know, all these fucking bullshit, you know, everything that they be saying, man. At the end of the day, I just want to fight. I don't want to fight. If you guys don't want to fight, then don't put all these fucking restrictions, saying all this and that. You know what I mean? Now, like, really, bro, like, now I have to take a COVID vaccine. Like, it's not enough that all my tests are coming out negative and everything is good on my part. Now I have to take a COVID vaccine. This and that. But, you know, it is what it is, man. I just want to fight the best fighters right now, and I feel like that's an amazing fight. Stylistically, that would be an amazing fight, you know, between me and him, and I feel like that's the type of fight that the people want to see. But that's what these dudes do, man. They just be talking shit. They be yelling and shit. Like, bro, like, you're not gonna press me. You're not gonna scare me at any fucking point. At the end of the day, I'm a fighter. I do not give fucking. I'm not scared of people yelling, saying all this fucking bullshit. the end of the day, if you want to scare me, if you don't want to act like you want to scare me, then accept the fight. And then if I'm gonna run into something, make me run into something. If it's that easy, come do it.
So you obviously you believe he was bluffing. You think he meant that when he said I ain't fighting nobody under 25 and you got to take the vaccine?
I mean,
You
I
really
really don't know what's going on. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's scared. I don't think he's bluffing at all. But I mean, why do you say type of shit like that? You know, like it makes no sense. So, I mean, first of all, I got to take care of my business. March 13th, you know, I'm not overlooking Ronald Ellis. And if you're serious about that fight, then we can make that fight happen. I'm pretty sure that, you know, if he's all about money, he wants to make the most money possible. This is the first step of doing that. You know, a lot of Mexican people. I got a lot of Mexican fans, a lot of Latino fans that would come and support me and see me. He has his own crowd, so why can't we do it, man? Especially in the boxing world, whatever race you are, whatever. This is a fight to see. This is gonna be a fucking knockout, you know, and everybody's gonna end up winning in this fight because it's gonna be an amazing fight. So if they're all up for it, I'm all up for it. Let's get it.
right? Obviously, the fight could happen in Texas. He from Texas. There's a lot of Hispanic community in Texas. So if you do fight Jermall Charlo in Texas, your prediction is a knockout. What round are you predicting? Like you believe it's going to be a war, or you think
Probably round 9. I'll probably stop him around 9. So if he says that he's gonna come break, that he can snap my neck, I'm gonna run into something, then come do it. Come do it. Come try to see. If it's that easy, come do it. Come see how easy it is, and I'll show you. I'll show you a different side of me that you never seen.
Do you believe the fight is going to happen? Do you believe the fight that he going to fight you September?
I hope so. You know, all I could do is hope right now. Hope for that fight. You know, I feel like it's a big fight for both of us. I feel like it makes sense. Not only as a boxing standpoint, but in the promoter standpoint, you know, we're both in the same promotion company. I feel like, you know, this is a big fight for the promotion company, so why not?
Right. Now, obviously, there's no secret. You're the boogeyman at 168, the most avoided at 168. So out of these names from Canelo to Berlanga to Caleb Plant to Charlo, who you believe will step up to the table? Like the one that's going to be willing to fight you?
Well, the one that's willing to fight me right now is Ronald Ellis. So let's give him a little bit of credit for that. But right. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, you know, these people, they sound tough. You know, their game sounds good when they talk about it, but then they try to show you something else. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna be ready. You know, as soon as I finish my training camp at Big Bear and I finish my fight, I'm gonna go home, take a break, then I'm gonna come right back to Big Bear, and we'll see who steps up to the table first.
How comfortable are you making 168? Can you make it for like a year or two, or you know?
Yeah, definitely, bro. I've been making 168 since I was 16 years old. You know, just because I missed weight one time, you know, it shouldn't, you know, fucking people just throw me under the bus. Now he can't make 168 no more. He's too big, this and that. You know, I feel like this training camp, the diet is a little bit better, you know, and I'm more focused out here. You know, I'm being more dedicated to the diet and the water intake, all that stuff. So I feel like I shouldn't have a problem. But I'm not gonna leave this weight class until I get all these fights going on. This is you know, 168 is probably the hottest it's ever been right now. There's so much great fights to be made right here that it doesn't make sense for me to move up. But you know, 168, I feel comfortable. You know, but back to, you know, I'm not the only dude that fucking missed weight on the pandemic. You know, during this pandemic, there's a lot of shit you can't get access to. You know, saunas, especially when you get up there. I didn't expect the bubble to be like that. You know, you get to the bubble in Connecticut, you're fucking quarantined for 2 days. You can't do shit. So you get there Monday, Tuesday. You know, you're finally able to leave Wednesday for 1 hour. They don't even have a sauna. They don't have shit. They don't have the bathtub that, you know, you could warm, put it up with super hot water. You know, it's just soaking there. They don't have that. You know, so it's a little bit harder. Now I know how the water runs over there. So I'm gonna be a little bit more prepared this time. But as to, you seen the last guy, David Morrell, WBA champion. He missed weight by the same exact fucking pounds I missed weight. And what do? They changed his fight from a title fight to a 10-rounder. You know what I mean? So I'm not the only one that, you know, unfortunately, I'm not the only one who missed weight. You know what I mean? But now, since we see, you know, I know how this shit's going down. I know how everything works over there. Now, the only thing we can do is come more prepared.
Yeah, and David Morrell still have the title. So this is actually a fan question, and since we're talking about the subject, I do want to throw out this fan question because he asked, he wanted me to ask this question. David got stripped of his title for miscalculating weight. Months later, he can't get a shot at his own title. Meanwhile, Canelo failed the drug test. 6 months later, he fighting for a majority of the belts versus Gennady Golovkin. Why does David Benavidez get treated different?
I guess because I'm not the cash cow. You know what I mean? It's just like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. You know, there's just some stuff like I don't know what's going on, and I'm not gonna try to get too deep into that. You know, I'm not gonna be fucking trying to talk shit about any organization. It is what it is at the end of the day. You know, I'm still here. I'm still ranked. You know, I'm willing to fight anybody to get back to where I was, and that's where I'm gonna leave it at.
Right. Now, obviously, you were actually the first one that called out Berlinga when pretty much nobody really heard of him like that. And, Berlinga was giving you credit, so on and so forth. So what's your thoughts on that potential matchup and Berlinga as a fighter overall? What do you think
He's a
about
good fighter. I mean, obviously, when you have 16 knockouts in the first round, you're a good fighter. I mean, you're a powerful fighter. We're the same age, though. I think I just, I beat him by a year, but we're the same age. You know what I mean? So they could say all this and that. David is too experienced, this and that, but we're the same fucking age. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he should be happy that I'm mentioning him because I only mentioned the best. If I didn't think he was good or nothing like that, I wouldn't even mention him. But he's pretty, he's a solid fighter. I give him that. And because, if all these guys are talking about making money, you guys want to make money, then this is how you make money. The best fight the best, and we that's how we win. This now all the people are, oh yeah, everybody wants to say, it's all about the money, this and that, but so if this is what you guys want to do, then let's do it. You're not gonna make the big dollars by fighting nobody, just fighting nobodies. I think where the money comes at is the best fight the best, and sometimes for me, it's not even about the money. I just want to be the best. I want to be recognized as the best. I feel like I've paid my dues. I've been here for 8 years already. And now I feel like, I'm working my ass off. I'm in the best place physically and mentally I've ever been in my career. I just have my son, I have my own family too. So it's, I want to potentially be a great by the time I'm done in the sport of boxing. I feel like I'm 24 years old already. And it's time to go. You know what I mean? I've fought good fighters already. I've won the belt twice. So why not fight the best of the best right now?
When do you see that fight happening realistically, and would you want that fight anytime soon?
I mean, I'm ready for, like I said, I'm ready for whoever right now. I don't know. I can't put dates on these things. If obviously I would want to fight, I would want to get a big fight by this year, but sometimes things don't happen like that. But at the end of the day, if I'm telling you I'm ready right now, I will fight whoever right now. It does not matter to me.
Have y'all offered Berlinga anything when it comes to a fight? So
we had my dad had got in contact with his manager, but from that, nothing happened from that. Because I didn't have a fight, so I thought we'd reach out, we'd get a fight, but I don't know what happened with that situation. But I was ready to fight. I mean, I had a couple guys pull out. I was gonna fight Linnell Thompson first, then he didn't accept the fight. Then I was gonna fight Jose Uzcategui, and he didn't accept the fight. Then that's how we're at Ronald Ellis right now. But I feel like in order for you to reach greatness, potential greatness, you have to take chances. Sometimes, like if you don't know, this is 50. Sometimes you get into fights that are 50-50, but that's how that's where the best. You reach the best of yourself. And sometimes you don't know what to do. You don't know what's gonna happen, but you fucking put the work in. You work your ass off in the training camp, and it shows in the fight. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I'm working extremely hard, 6-7 miles a day. The most rounds I've sparred, I think was fucking 17 rounds, 3 different dudes. So I'm fucking working hard, bro. I'm working extremely hard right now. So that's why I'm talking with you and to everybody else with so much confidence, because I know how much work I'm putting in. So, come one, come all. I'm ready for anybody.
Right. Can you around what time did your father contact his manager? Was it like
it was maybe like a month ago, something like that.
That's recent. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, what will it take to bring boxing back to the old school where the best fight the best? Obviously, you got the mindset of an old school fighter, But nowadays, a lot of new school fighters play politics a whole lot. So, what will it take to bring boxing to what it used to be?
Well,
In
for
your
me,
opinion?
I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, just calling everybody out until I get the fights. You know what I mean? There's not much I can't really do, nothing much. At the end of the day, I think the people start seeing, you know, and people start saying shit, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like I'm trying to accept all these fights, but like then you see Charlo saying that, oh, now I need a fucking I need to get vaccinated. Like who says that shit? Now you need to get vaccinated. What, you need fucking proof of my GED now too? What the fuck? Like man, this shit is crazy, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I want I want my respect. I really want it, and I want the people to respect me too. So that's why I'm going the route I'm going in. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm doing everything on my part, so I don't know.
Right. Have you guys sent Jermall Charlo an offer, or how does that work? Since you guys both on
But
PBC,
I don't send offers like that. I'm just a fighter, you know. I mean, obviously, if he wants to get in the fight in, I already got in contact with my people, Luis de Cubas. I told him if everything comes out good this fight, which I'm expecting everything to come out good, is it possible if we could get a fight with Charlo? He said, well, let me see what we could do. And that's probably the most like it's not on. I'm not gonna send an offer like, oh, we got this much money. You know, I can. You know, I'm not a promoter or none of that. I could just request the fight.
yeah.
But that's probably the most I could do. But I mean, I did that already. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah, the most thing you could do is let the world know that you want the fight, which you pretty much did. Now, obviously, on split decision, we got to ask you the $1 million question and get your prediction on this right here. A dream matchup: Ali versus Tyson. Who you got and why?
I think, bro, to be honest, I think if it was prime Mike Tyson, I think where his head movement was at and where his angles were at and the way he would get inside the defense, you know what I mean? I think Mike Tyson would win by knockout. But to be honest with you, man, I can't really answer that question like really too good because I never really watched Muhammad Ali. Like I've seen fights, but I've never really like watched them in depth like that. But with Mike Tyson, I feel like when he fought taller guys like that, and you know his defense and all his shit, a prime Mike Tyson, I don't feel like anybody beats a prime Mike Tyson.
Right, you feel like Mike Tyson lost to that man in the mirror?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak on what went wrong with him. You know, I'm not him, and I didn't know what type of things he was going through or how he felt. But I mean, possibly that could have been the case.
Duran versus Chavez.
Ooh, fuck. See that one? See, that's like the type of fights like you don't know what's gonna happen. I feel like it would have to be a knockout. I just don't know by who. But that would be a fight I would only dream about seeing. But because of the body shots of Chavez, but the constant pressure of Duran, man, that would be probably one of the best fights ever in history if they both fought prime.
Right, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray, ooh. To be honest, bro, I think Sugar Ray Leonard would be prime. Sugar Ray Leonard would beat Mayweather. Because it's just the speed and his finesse he had, bro. It was just a different type of fighter, you know. Sugar Ray Leonard, he was just a complete monster. The thing about him is if he would throw shots, but he wouldn't try to intentionally land on them, all of them. He would probably hit the guard with 2 shots, but then he'd come back with a hook or body shot or something like that. It's just that when those type of fighters surprise you because you never know where they're gonna come from, especially with the speed he had. My God, that guy was a bad man.
What fighter you studied growing up that you pretty much got a lot out of him, like your idols look, from the boxing game?
Well, I mean, I've never really tried to be like any type of fighter. I always wanted to be my own fighter, but I always picked up a lot of stuff from people. I picked up, I always wanted to throw a body shot like Mickey Ward. I always wanted to have the charisma, like Prince Nassim Hamed. Obviously everybody wants to have defense like Floyd Mayweather. And then, sometimes you want to have the heart and the guts and the will to win like Barrera or Morales. The speed of Pacquiao, man. It was just, there's a lot of people that always, I looked up to in my life. Oh, and the jab of De La Hoya, too. Left hook of Tito Trinidad, man. There was just too much boxers to choose from. Me, I'm a diehard boxing fan. Even now, I'm still a fan of boxing. I love watching boxing. But there was just a lot of people that I picked up stuff from or not only that I picked stuff up from, but they've just motivated me to try to learn stuff like that. Obviously, you throw stuff in your own way. You know, your left hook or your right hand is never going to come out like another fighter. You throw it in your own way. But, you know, Trinidad, Roy Jones, and De La Hoya, they really motivated me a lot to, you know, do a lot of the stuff I did today.
Right. And obviously, when it comes to you, you're a fighter that's willing to fight anybody. So who do you see at 168 as your maybe your most dangerous rival and your easiest fight? Like your most dangerous and easiest, like, you know, at 168.
The most difficult fight has to be Canelo. I mean, I would have to be a fucking hater just to say that, oh, he's not. Because Canelo, he's very experienced. You know, he's very good too. But I feel like with a fighter like that, just the training camp alone will bring the best out of me. But he would be very difficult too. And I feel like the easiest fighter for me would be Caleb Plant.
Right. And when it comes to boxing, what do you think about, you know, nowadays a lot of people make too much of a loss. You know, if you take an L, you pretty much, it's like 10 step backwards. But obviously a fight like between you and Charlo, that's such a 50-50 fight that the winner is going to put himself in a great position to maybe fight Canelo and force Canelo to pay attention to him. On the other hand, the loser don't have really too much to lose because it's such a great fight. So what's your take on the landscape of in boxing today that, you know, a loss is like end all be all?
I feel like now in today's boxing world, I feel like they're just taking that shit way too serious. I feel like everybody wants to be Mayweather and everybody wants to be fucking have a perfect record. Everybody wants to do this and that. But like the thing that, like if you look at it, like these guys, they lose and they take way too long to come back. Like it's just fuck. Like at the end of the day, I don't think a loss should diminish you or, you know, really bring you down that much. I mean, at the end of the day, you got here by hard work. So if you get knocked down, you lose a fight, you should just come back, work hard, and then get back to where you were. That's why I admire the guys from UFC so much, because when motherfuckers lose, they get knocked down, they come back like 2 months later, and they end up getting a win or, you know, some crazy shit. A lot of those dudes have losses, bro, but they're grinding, bro. They're grinding. So I feel like, you know, if boxing should take a page out of anybody's book, it should be the UFC. You know, as the losers, I don't think, you know, just because you lose one fight, I don't think you still don't have an opportunity to be great. You know what I mean? I feel like, you know, what matters most is how you come back. And that's my take on that.
And that's big facts because you got, you know, Barrera, who lost multiple times, came back and had big wins. Pacquiao, Ali. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So definitely a loss doesn't define your career. But I got to ask you, because I remember watching your brother growing up and your father, you know, when your brother was about to turn pro and you was out of the picture. Like you wasn't even in the picture. I remember like you was a chubby kid and out of nowhere you burst out on the scene. So tell me, how did you get into the sport of boxing and what was it that sparked, you know, something in your brain and you wanted to do boxing and become a champion and be here where you are today?
Well, to be honest, I've been boxing my whole life. It's just I never had an amateur career. I had been boxing since I was 3 years old. So my whole life, boxing. And I only had like about 10 amateur fights, something like that. But that was because I was very overweight, you know what I mean? And my brother, you know, I liked boxing, but I didn't really think that that's what I wanted to do, you know, when I was a little kid. You know, but I still, my dad still made me work my ass off. Just because I didn't know if I wanted to be a boxer the rest of my life didn't mean I didn't work hard. My dad my dad, you know, hats off and respects to my dad because, you know, he made us work extremely hard. But when my brother ended up getting signed, he went to California. So I'd been boxing my whole life. And, you know, a little kid, you're just like, damn, man, I just want to fucking be a kid. I want to go play with my friends. I want to play Xbox. I want to stay home. You know, I don't want to fucking be training the whole time. So I feel like I was kind of burnt out by that age. They left, I was like 12, 11. And I moved with my mom, but I had always been a chubby kid. And that's when my eating just became, you know, ridiculous. You know, I think in a year, I gained close to 100 pounds, some shit like that. I ended up getting to 250 pounds. And one day I looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I don't even fucking recognize who I am no more. Like I really, it's my face took a different shape. I don't even know who the fuck I am.
At 12 years old,
I was 12.
12, okay.
12 or 13. So I'm like, so I call my dad up and I'm like, man, if I keep this up, I'm gonna wait at least by the time that year ends, I'm gonna be 300 pounds more. And that really scared me. It scared me a lot. So I called my dad, you know, just to go train over there in Hollywood in a wild card. But I remember by that time I still had fucking 9 years experience of boxing. You know, so I still had a lot of experience. So by the time I got over there, the first couple months, it was just I would spar like older dudes and shit. I was like 13, 14. 14, I got down to like 200, and then I was sparring heavyweights in the gym right there. I think the first dude I sparred was Latif Coyote, and this fucking big Nigerian dude, bro, fucking scary as fuck. He has scars in his face. You know what I mean? So I sparred him, and then my dad's like, well, you know, he's a kid, but he has experience. So if you can fuck him up, fuck him up. And I'm like, this dude's crazy. My dad's crazy, bro. Like, what the fuck? So there, I just kind of had to learn to defend myself because, and then too, I wasn't gonna start crying. I wasn't gonna stop the sparring because I'm not a bitch. I've never been like that. I'm like, you know, if my dad believes that he's putting me in these people, it's for a reason because he believes I could do good. So that's how I kind of learned to bring that side of myself out that I didn't even know I had. You know, I had to defend myself. So from there, you know, I was sparring. That was like the first big professional. You know, I think he was a world champion too. He was a world champion. I sparred him, and then I sparred other amateurs, other top some pros right there. And then I turned 15 and I was like 190, 185. And I went to go spar Kelly Pavlik. And I surprised myself even there too, because I did amazing, bro. You know, I did really good with Kelly Pavlik. And then from there, my confidence just kept growing and growing and growing. It went from Kelly Pavlik to Peter Quillen and then I got down here to spar with Golovkin the first time. It was before he even made his HBO debut. I sparred him, and bro, we had an amazing sparring. And Abel Sanchez was like, how old is he? He's like 15 years old. He's all, this dude is really good. So I kept going back. Until I was like 19. That's when I stopped sparring him. But we had some amazing sparring sessions. And then from there, I sparred Zurdo Ramirez. Who else? Gabriel Rosado, Dimitri Bivol. That guy, the one that had that Art of Berdabeev beat, the one that's 175, Alex Gorski or something like that. Yeah. I sparred him. So I feel like that's really how I gained a lot of my experience, just sparring these top guys, because you know at the end of the day it's a sparring session, but these motherfuckers are trying to kill you. Like if they can knock you out, they will make an example out of you and knock you out. And I never let nobody's ever you know I've always had the best end of the sparrings all the time. You know, I've never got hurt, I've never done none, I've never did bad in any sparring session. I've always did the best. And because I've always believed in myself too, I didn't let that, me not having an amateur career, scare me or discourage me, because I knew I've always trained like this my whole life. I've always trained extremely hard. Yeah. So and so I got to the point, man. I feel like I turned pro at 15. I started getting the fights. I started fighting better people, and my confidence started going up. My power started going up. My speed started going up. And then just the experience overall is just, now I feel like I'm in an amazing place. That's why I feel like I'm in the best place mentally and physically in my whole career. And I haven't even hit my prime yet, bro. I just turned 24 in December. So I've been through a lot, you know what I mean? But I'm still looking forward to what's left to come.
Right. Now you sparred monsters, man, as an amateur. Yeah. I mean, sparring them type of guys who need an amateur record. But when did you get back in shape where you were like maybe back to 175? Was that when you turned pro, or?
Yeah, I was like 16. I was already fighting at I started at 175 and then 17 and 168, constant 168. Yeah, but that and then too, like when I found out I wanted to box, I was in school one day, bro, and I was like, fuck, bro, like I don't need these. I had dropped out once already. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what the fuck these people are talking to me about, bro. Like, I just feel like an idiot here. Like, I've just wasted my time when I could be training. I could be in a training camp. And I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, I'm not going to graduate school. Like, what else is there left for me to do? I'm like, I have an opportunity to box, I have an opportunity to be a world champion if I train as hard as I can, if I give it my all. So I said, fuck. I just decided to drop out of school again. I dropped out twice, and I'm like, fuck it. Then I have no plan A. I have plan A is my boxing. I have no plan B. I have no plan C. I'm gonna just give it my all and see what happens. And by the grace of God, bro, I'm where I'm at today, and I feel like I could reach for the stars now. You know what I mean? Because I know the hard work it took me to get here. Because I wasn't anybody. I wasn't a top prospect. I wasn't a top amateur. And I worked my way from the bottom all the way to winning 2 world titles. And I feel like, there's still a lot left for me to give to the fans and to the people. And there's still a lot left for me to accomplish.
Yeah, you definitely was born to be a champion because school is not for everybody. So we're glad you made that decision, Benavidez. But would you say sparring with all these top, obviously pros that were even champions, even the likes of Gennady Golovkin before he burst on the scene, that gave you more of a professional style, off the jump?
I think the person who really put me into that level was Golovkin. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. Golovkin, because that dude hit so fucking hard, bro, that I had to be on point. I had to be on point every single fucking day sparring him. Because if I wasn't on point, bro, then that dude had the power to, if I wasn't solid, he had the power to stop me. And I wasn't going to get embarrassed in front of my dad like that. I wasn't going to get embarrassed in front of the gym like that. So that really brought the best out in me. I was always on point. And that I just used that experience from that sparring into my whole career. I kind of translated that into my professional style, into everything too. And Golovkin, bro, he's, shouts out to Golovkin too for even giving me that opportunity, because he didn't have to. I was 15 years old, 16 years old. He could have been like, who the fuck is this little kid? Get this little kid out of here. But I feel like as soon as he seen that there was talent, and we had some amazing sparring sessions, bro. Amazing sparring sessions. Honestly, if we recorded those sparring sessions and put them out, we could sell them, bro, because there were some fucking good sparring sessions. And he was always a cool guy to me, bro. He was very cool, very humble, man. I met some world champions that they just fucking, they're like scumbags, bro. They think they're the shit. They don't even fucking, they're just a lot of them don't have good characters. But Golovkin, bro, he was a very nice person. He took his time out to teach me a lot of stuff, body shots. I trained with him for a couple times, and that dude really, I'm very grateful that I was able to meet him and learn from him.
Well, you got to be a natural to spar Gennady Golovkin at 15. So out of all the people you sparred, from all the names you gave me, from Kelly to Gennady Golovkin, who was your toughest sparring partner? Like, first of all, who was the one you learned the most from, and who was your toughest sparring partner?
Golovkin, hands down. And it was even harder for me back then because I was sparring him at such a young age. So I had to mature very fast, you know what I mean? But Golovkin, hands down, is Golovkin. But I've had some amazing sparring sessions with Bivol, Zurdo Ramirez, Alex, the dude that fought Bertabeef. So yeah, man, I've had, and that's what, like, sometimes I don't really understand why other champions don't want to fight other champions in the different weight classes and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's only going to benefit you. If you don't believe in yourself like that, eventually everybody's going to fight. But these fights don't really get made right away like that. You seen Golovkin spar Canelo, you know what I mean? But these other fucking people, man, I tried to spar Caleb Plant one time too, a couple times, and he said, "No, I'm not no sparring partner." So I'm like, "Yeah, you're just a fucking pussy. That's what you are." But yeah, man, I've had some amazing sparring sessions, bro. Amazing sparring sessions.
That's what's up, and you definitely got the character of a champion. And we love the fact that you calling out everybody and you want all the smoke. So what's your message to all the 168-pounder? What's your message to Jermall Charlo and so on and so forth?
I'm coming for everybody. Everybody. Charlo, Caleb Plant, Canelo, all these dudes, man. I feel like, I'm ready for whoever. I want to reach greatness, and I want to be the best David Benavidez that I could possibly be. So, man, if these guys don't want to give me the fight, I'm gonna keep knocking on that door until eventually it's answered, and we'll see who the best is when it gets answered.
Yes, sir. Well, pleasure talking with you, champ. I appreciate the time you gave me out of your day to talk to the fans. And what's your social media account, like Instagram, Twitter, that people could follow you?
So my Instagram is Benavidez300. And I just want to, thank you as well for, giving me the opportunity. And it was a great conversation, man. Fucking 50 minutes of the interview. It was cool, man. I appreciate you giving me the time as well. I want to thank all my fans, all my people that follow me, from Arizona all the way to Miami, all the states in between. I know I got a lot of fans everywhere, man, and I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you so much for the support.
My pleasure, champion. And thank you for giving me the time out of your day. Like I said, it was an honor talking with you.
Thank you, brother. Have a nice night.
Have a good day. Peace. That's the champ, David Benavidez. He answered all the questions. Called out Jermall Charlo. Let Jermall Charlo, he put a date on it, and he want to fight him September. He let Caleb Plant know that he want to fight him as well. And he stated, listen, he not chasing Canelo. He going to earn a fight with Canelo. He going to apply pressure by fighting all these other champions or great fighters that's not even champion at 168. So, you got to respect David Benavidez for that. Like I said, he the boogeyman, arguably the 168-pounder, the number one at that division. So I got another interview coming up. So if you guys just give me a minute. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, man, it was a pleasure talking to the champ, but oh man, my camera just died on me. Hold on, I'll be right back. So obviously, at this moment in time, Jermall Charlo is going to have to answer the call because Benavidez, he went for it. He put a date on it and he's straight with it. You know, he's not sugarcoating the message. He said he want to fight Jermall Charlo and whoever is willing to step up on September. So Caleb Plant, Jermall Charlo. So like I said, we got to see what Jermall responds with. I thought when Jermall Charlo said something about a vaccine and he got to be younger than 25 or he got to be 25 or older, I really took that with a grain of salt. I thought he was joking because I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, because at the end of the day, or at least the night, he said, David Benavidez called me. And then he said, you got to get vaccinated. So I thought he was joking. However, we truly won't know until this is signed on pen and paper. You know what I mean? So we got to give Jermall Charlo the benefit of the doubt. But one thing for sure, David Benavidez is letting everybody know that he wants to fight right now. So obviously, Jermall Charlo called him out last year. And I think a little bit during or before or after the pandemic, one of the three, right? So because of that, we got to give Jermall Charlo the benefit of the doubt. We can't judge his decision based on few days. We got to hear what he's going to say. And actions speak louder than words. So we got to see what Jermall Charlo decides to do, right? So that being said, I do want to talk about Ryan Garcia because I dropped a video the other day and a lot of people came on my page and they were pretty much informing me that, hey, Ryan Garcia is still claiming that the fight is on with Pacquiao. He did multiple interviews with some media members in which he clarifies that Pacquiao fight is still on and he's going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Now, what I'm going to say to that is that I believe it when I see it. Because what it's looking like to me right now is Ryan Garcia is just clout chasing off everybody because he used Gervonta Tank Davis' name to avoid Devin Haney. Because truth be told, if he's fighting Gervonta, people was like, okay, well, all right, Ryan, if you go ahead and fight Tank, if you want to get blasted by Tank, it is what it is. So nobody really could criticize him for going that direction. If he's going to avoid Devin Haney to fight Tank, it is what it is. That's a bigger fight. That's a good fight as well. So there's really no criticism. We were all for it. Now, like I said, he used Tank name to avoid Devin. Now, he made a fool of himself on Mike Tyson Hot Boxing podcast where Mike Tyson set him up, brought Tank on the phone, and had them going back and forth, in which Ryan said is going to be over in 2 rounds. So he talked the talk, but he did not walk the walk because when it came time to sign or make the fight happen, he obviously went elsewhere. He started claiming that he was going to fight Pacquiao, right? So now he's using Pacquiao name to avoid Gervonta Tank Davis while saving face in the process and pretty much clout chase off everyone's name. So a lot of people wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but nevertheless, you don't call out someone to that extent, then go elsewhere. But it semi will justify if he fight Pacquiao. The fact that he announced fighting Pacquiao, obviously he said that's a legend, so on and so forth. I got an opportunity, so I got to take it. We were like, it is what it is. Now, Ryan Garcia's father, Henry, I believe that's his name. Henry came out and said that the fight is going to be an exhibition. He said it's going to be at 143 for 10 rounds. That's what Henry said, Ryan Garcia's father. He informed the public that it was going to be an exhibition. So I reported on that. Then literally the next day or the day after, Golden Boy president, Gomez, I believe that's his name, he came out and said there's no Pacquiao fight. There's no such thing. It was never going to come to fruition. They talking crazy and things of that sort. So he said there's no Pacquiao fight on the table, right? So at this moment in time, now we could see the bigger picture. Now we could put 1 and 2 together. So we could clearly see that Ryan was using Pacquiao name to save face to why he's not fighting Gervonta Tank Davis next, since he had the whole arena calling out Tank name, since he was actually, on FaceTime with Javante next to Mike Tyson and have Mike Tyson dancing for cha-cha. You know what I'm saying? So all of that was adding up to too much pressure. Pressure bust pipes. So in order to save face, they didn't want the message to spread. They didn't want the hot boxing interview to go viral. They posted it on a whole new channel that had no subscribers at all. It still did 500,000, right? So nevertheless, they used Pacquiao name, and now Golden Boy are claiming that the Pacquiao fight is not on the table, is not realistic, is not going to happen because Pacquiao requested them to a non-exhibition bout. They were not interested in a non-exhibition bout. Plus, Pacquiao was asking for a lot of money. So they felt like, hey, yeah, it's a big fight, but it's a big risk as well. And he's 42. So it's like, you know, they were looking at it as, you know, Oscar felt like the Pacquiao fight was a lose-lose situation because Pacquiao could possibly beat Ryan. Plus, he got to pay off Pacquiao a big amount of money. And especially it will backfire tremendously if Ryan loses to Pacquiao. So they obviously didn't make the fight happen. They said it's not going to happen. Then the next day, Brian goes on live and says the fight is not an exhibition. It's a real fight. Don't believe what you hear. Now, first of all, why are you going to announce it's a real fight, not an exhibition, when the day right before that, Golden Boy killed the notion of the fight? They said there's no fight at all, right? Now, also on top of that, why claim that it's a real fight and say don't believe what you hear when it's your father who told and informed the public that it's an exhibition? You might want to talk to your team and to your father and tell him don't be putting out false information, right? Now, recently, Ryan Garcia had an interview with a couple media members. He even talked to his fans on Instagram, which he said on public that don't believe what people say. At the end of the day, people are hating because they can't believe it. They never seen this done before. And I'm like, never seen this done before? What? A 23 years old, a 22 years old fighting a 42 years old? We never seen this done before? In an exhibition? What are you talking about? We never seen this done before. Just because you got Instagram followers don't mean you're the champion of the world. You could be the champion of Instagram, but you ain't the champion of the world yet. So when he says people are just hating because they can't believe it, believe what? It's your team. It's Golden Boy. It's your father that said it's an exhibition. It's Golden Boy that said there's no fight. They kill the notion of the fight. This is not what the media are saying. This is not what the fans are saying. Your own team are not on the same page as you. So when Ryan tells the public that people are hating, we just reporting facts. We reporting sources coming out of your own team. Golden Boy. Golden Boy is informing the public that there's no fight. So for Ryan to say people are hating on what? You need to inform your team and be on the same page as your team. Because if Golden Boy president says there is no fight, and Ryan says there's a fight, them two things don't go together. They're not even on the same page, and they're on the same team. That does not add up. So you see what's wrong with the picture, because Golden Boy said that Teofimo is more realistic and is more feasible, and they are negotiating with Teofimo. They actually had a talk with Bob Arum. They sat with Bob Arum to make Ryan versus Teofimo. But just yesterday, Teofimo just announced that he's fighting Cup Hostess next. So what is Ryan trying to do now? Use Teofimo name to escape the Pacquiao fight while saving face? So from the outside looking in right now, looking at the sources and looking at what Golden Boy is saying, what Ryan's father is saying, what Ryan is saying himself, they are all in different pages on different books. So it seemed like a planned clout chasing game plan to pretty much get clout out of everyone's name and avoid everyone using other fighters' name. Because from what I heard, according to my inside sources, this is nothing official. This is just rumors. Ryan might fight Fortuna next, or someone of that caliber. So Ryan did all that. Like the man went on tour, clout chasing off everyone's name, and now he about to fight for tuna. Just tell us what it is. Just tell us you fighting for tuna. You know, so like I said, Ryan can't claim nobody is hating on him when he's not even on the same page as Golden Boy. So is Golden Boy hating on Ryan? Is Mike Tyson hating on Ryan for telling him to fight Tank? Because Ryan was the one that was calling Tank out? Is Gomez hating on Ryan? And it kills me when some of these media members that are like fanboys, they will tell the fighters, yeah, they hating on you. You a media person. You should ask Ryan Garcia. But Golden Boy said that the fight is off. You claiming the fight is on. The Golden Boy president Gomez said the fight is off. So have you talked to Golden Boy president yet? We need to know that type of information. Instead of telling the fighter, oh, they hating on you, Ryan. Hating on what? Ryan is rocking the WBC belt, claiming he the champion of the world, when he got a silver belt. And he want to see, like, he got a belt on and he says belts don't matter. If the belt don't matter, then take it off. How you claiming that belts don't matter, but you got a belt on? Do you want to be like Devin Haney? If you want to be a champion like Devin Haney, then fight Devin Haney, since Devin Haney mandatory. But Ryan want to say Devin Haney is his toughest opponent. He's going to put him off last. And then the next day, he forgot what he said yesterday, and he want to claim Devin Haney my friend. That's why I'm fighting him last. You ain't fooling nobody. Like I said, the most dangerous weapon in the world is a microphone and a camera. And Ryan Garcia is out here making a fool of himself, man. Like I said, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Only a fool will get fooled. Only a fool will get fooled again. So all of Ryan Garcia, I bet you they feel like a bunch of fools right now. So Ryan Garcia must realize at this moment in time, all publicity is not good publicity. All money is not good money. So if you say something, you must back it up. You know, so like I said, I just want to inform the fans, because I'm receiving all this information about, oh, Ryan said, you know, because I dropped the video on the fight between Ryan and Pacquiao is canceled. And I said that Pacquiao got fooled by Ryan because he got stripped of his WBA super belt. And now the Ryan Garcia is not even on the table. So he got played more than everybody did. Because at least Tank had nothing to lose. Tank, he gained fans out of Ryan anyway. You know, whatever fans that the casual fans that didn't know Tank, that follow Ryan personally, now they know who Tank is. So Tank benefited from that situation at least a little bit. And at the end of the day, Tank is looking good while Ryan looking bad. It's all about perception. On the other hand, Pacquiao, he really took Ryan for his word, and he got stripped of his belt. I know Pacquiao, he really tight right now. He's super mad. And you know, that's what happened when you believe Ryan Garcia. You know, that's why Gervonta Tank Davis is starting to call him Mr. Cap a lot, because Tank said that Ryan caps all of the time. You can't believe anything he says. And I'm starting to see what Tank is talking about, because Ryan got Pacquiao fooled, got Mike Tyson fooled, got the fans fooled. So, I mean, like I said, you know, you can't. I mean, he even said that his Twitter got deleted. I'm starting to believe he deleted his own Twitter after he received a lot of backlash, because the story of his Twitter getting deleted due to him talking about God don't add up to me. Why would they do that when plenty of people talk about God on Twitter, but all of a sudden they're going to delete Ryan's? You know, sound like it's, you know, a publicity stunt to make people feel bad for him because he didn't want to receive a lot of backlash through Twitter. But it is what it is. I don't know really, but that's speculations on my behalf. But just seeing how Ryan Garcia is moving lately is really a turnoff. And that's what's really killing the sport of boxing, because instead of the best fighting the best, now look at how 2020 is starting off. We got Teofimo telling us that he was going to fight Devin. He told Mike Tyson, he promised Mike Tyson he was going to fight Devin. Ryan did the same thing. He said he's going to fight Tank. He promised Mike he was going to fight Tank. He said it's set in stone. Neither of them, they both broke their promise to Mike and to the fans. You know, we got Canelo Alvarez. Instead of fighting Benavidez, he want to fight Avni. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully what's going to save the year is Benavidez versus Charlo. I highly believe the fight is going to happen because unlike Tio, unlike Ryan, Charlo don't have the complexion for the protection. You know what I'm saying? He got a storm coming. You best believe that. Especially if he has a fight coming up. If he has a fight coming up for a tune-up for Benavidez or whoever, he gonna receive a lot of backlash. If it's not set in stone, he fighting Benavidez next. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know that right now. So that being said, at the end of the day, or at least tonight, like I said, Ryan can't claim nobody hating on him, because if he believed people are hating on him and they can't believe the things he's doing because it's so out of this world, then he must believe Golden Boy is hating on him. He must believe Mike Tyson is hating on him, because they saying the same things we saying. We saying we want the tank fight. Mike Tyson said he want the tank fight. We saying we want Ryan to live up to his own words. So is Mike. I reported that the Pacquiao fight is off because my sources told me that, which is Golden Boy. So Ryan might need to talk and have a sit down with his own team. Let me see if Bill is available. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. We back, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up calls because I'm not receiving Bill Haney. I don't know why he's not pulling up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up calls for the meantime and talk about topics on hand. How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from?
Yo,
Hello?
Aki, this is Luis. I'm calling from LA.
Yes, sir. Talk to me. What's going on?
Yo, man, we had a couple of people on the line for on hold. I think we were all talking to each other while we were waiting.
Okay.
But appreciate the time, Aki. Great interview, by the way. Obviously, great points from Benavidez and everything. Obviously, like even right now, when we were on hold, you feel the frustration, man. You feel the people. Obviously, they want the best fight. If Charlo moves up to 168, then by all means, do. Like, I think that will put more pressure on Canelo. But yeah, man, I think Benavidez is even better, bro. Like the fight in February, well, this month with Yildirim. I think everybody knows it's a tune-up fight, so we're not expecting much, don't you think? Like everybody knows that it's just a tune-up fight.
Yeah, well, this is just a stay busy fight. I don't remember when the last time Benavidez fought, but it's been a while. So he need a tune-up fight. He need to stay active. So if you're gonna make a big fight afterwards, I mean, they could both agree to fight now. I mean, Charlo and Benavidez could both agree to fight right now, like Canelo versus Cotto. They both agreed ahead of time. Andre Ward and Kovalev, they both agreed ahead of time, so they could both agree right now to a later date. Obviously, Charlo, this is last time he fought was in September, so he could have a tune-up fight himself in May against maybe Eubank Jr. I believe that's a perfect tune-up at 168. Fight him, then that prepare him for a Benavidez fight, because Benavidez, speaking with him today, feeling his energy. I'm telling you, man, a man full of confidence, and he wanted to smoke. I mean,
he wants to fight, bro. He wants to fight. You can
with
tell
everybody.
He's
with
everybody.
everybody.
Like he's eager to fight, man. He's eager.
Say what?
Like you can tell he's eager. Like when you brought up to Charlo that he wants to fight him, you can tell Benavidez was like, bro, he's already talking about the vaccination and this and that. Like if you want to fight, just cut the crap and let's fight. You can tell Benavidez really wants to fight, and I feel his frustration. But yeah, man, even if like for example, one of my questions for you, bro, is obviously I'm not even counting the fight today. It's a tune-up fight. But if Canelo beats Billy Joe Saunders in May, Caleb Plant in September, and he becomes unified, makes history, but doesn't fight Benavidez yet, would you put him on pound for pound number one and one of the best Mexicans if he unifies the super middleweight division?
If he beats Charlo, you said?
No, if he beats Saunders and Caleb Plant, unifies, becomes undisputed,
well,
he will go down in history.
We got to talk more realistic, my brother, because them guys you just named, they're not gonna fight him. They made it clear they're not gonna fight him. So we got to talk
Billy
about.
Joe Saunders is for sure in May.
Yeah, but you know they're not gonna fight Benavidez, you know, because Caleb Plant is not interested. He said Caleb Plant came out and said
no. Oh, sorry, Aki. I said if Canelo fights, if he beats Billy Joe Saunders in May and he beats Caleb Plant in September, he will become undisputed. Would that be historic in your eyes?
Hell no, that's not historic, because he ain't fighting Benavidez. He fighting Avni next when he should be fighting Benavidez. He was supposed to fight Benavidez. No. I WBC.
Bro, I'm with you. He needs to fight Benavidez without a doubt. I'm with you on that part. But because Benavidez doesn't have a belt. But if he's undisputed, you don't think that's historic?
I don't think that's historic, because he's not really undisputed. Because in my eyes, he need to fight Benavidez, because he came out and said, "I ain't gonna fight Mexicans." It's like, hold on, man, you fought Chavez. We haven't forgot. You fought. You know what I'm saying? All these Hispanic fighters, but now all of a sudden you don't want to fight Hispanic because Benavidez is in your division. So, like I said, that's why Canelo is on a Europe tour. Yeah, it's a historic for Europe. You know, all the European people is going to be historic for them, but not worldwide. He's not fighting undefeated black fighters, and he's not fighting undefeated Mexican fighters. So that's definitely not historic. He need to fight the best in the world.
Would he be number one pound for pound if he unifies? For you,
he is not. Terrence Crawford right now, he number one pound for pound, but Canelo, he can't be.
If he unifies all the belts,
absolutely not.
He won't be pound for pound for you.
Absolutely not, because he's not fighting the best. He picking on the weakest link. He not fighting Benavidez. He not fighting Charlo. He not fighting Andre. You see who Benavidez is trying to fight? Benavidez is trying to fight Charlo. Like I said. If Canelo want to be the best, look, Canelo, he moved. He moved up from 160. He said that his plan was to become undisputed at 160, but because it was tough, since he saw Charlo and Andre around the corner, he realized, oh no, I can't mess with them brothers. You know what I'm saying? It's MBF, so he moved up to 168, and then he sees Benavidez. As soon as he saw Benavidez lose his belt, now he want to be undisputed at 168. He told us the same thing at 160, but the competition got too real. Now he telling us he want to be undisputed at 168 because Benavidez got stripped. All these people that's holding titles, they neither undefeated black fighters nor undefeated Mexican fighters. Majority of them are Europeans. That's why I said before, Canelo, he is pound for pound number one. Don't get me wrong. He's Europe pound for pound number one, not worldwide. Because in order for you to be number one in the world, you have to be number one in your division first. You have to be number one at 160. He had to been number one at 168, but he not trying to do either or. You know what I'm saying? But okay, I got Bill on the phone. So hey, let me get back with you. Let me get back with you. All right, let me get back with you. How you doing, Bill? Yo, Bill, can you hear me?
It's a little bit of static, huh?
Hold on. What about now? You still hear the static?
Huh?
Can you hear me clearly?
Static.
You said static? How about now?
Let me see. Static. Hold on.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Hello.
Yes, sir. How about now? Is it better? Oh, okay. Hold on. What about now? Hey, Bill, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. I think. Yep.
Is it better?
Got you now. Yeah, much better.
That's good.
Much
So
better.
we got to talk to you, Bill. So first of all, we got to start this off proper because you didn't hit the whole boxing scene the other day. You know, you announced that you retired as a trainer. So tell me, Bill, what's going on? How you came up with that decision and why?
I mean, you know, it's just this time. It's been 14 years of us in and out the gym and us creating this this boxing empire that we got, you know, and we want to build it and make it continue to grow. And I think it's, you know, that, you know, time that we bring in someone, you know, it's a bunch of qualified guys that we have around us that can do the job of training him, you know, and me maybe play a second, you know what I mean? Or, you know, kind of just, you know, fill in, first being the lead trainer. So there's just, you know, I thought that it might be a time we're taking a look at it where, of course, we don't have a fight. We don't have an opponent. We think that we might have a date in April. So, you know, we'll be getting ready soon and picking a coach and seeing what that looks like. Of course, you know, like everything, you know what I mean? If things don't work out, then we have to come up with something else. So as of right now, I'm doing the business part of it.
So just to inform the public that, you know, everything is good between you and the young Devin. It's just the fact that you want to focus on the business part of boxing more so than the training part of boxing.
Oh yeah, you know, we're gonna always be good, forever be good. That's my son, and we'll never let, you know, boxing, money, you know, nothing about life change that. You know what I mean? I got a respect for him, and he has respect for me, and I don't think that's gonna ever change.
Family over everything. Now, who's going to be the head coach? You know, have you been shopping around for? Is it Floyd
Um,
Mayweather? What's going on?
I don't know. We don't know yet. You know, of course, I'll leave that open up to Devin to ultimately decide and announce it. It's just, you know, things are so new right now. We're just kind of, you know, rocking with it, I should say.
Is Floyd Mayweather an option?
Floyd Mayweather is, you know, great fighter, and you know, I don't know if you talking about junior or senior.
Junior.
Oh, you're talking about junior. You know, Devin and him have a great relationship, so you know, just no telling. You know, I don't want to rule out anybody on Devin's behalf because it's ultimately who Devin's comfortable in there with, who he feels safe. You know what I mean? Who he's ready to go to battle with. So, you know, like I said, I just got to reserve the right for him to think about it. You know what I mean, and then announce it.
Yes, sir. And obviously, someone announced the fight yesterday. Teofimo Lopez announced fighting Composis. So, what's your take on, you know, him claiming that he's going to fight Composis when he's been telling us the whole time he was going to send you guys a contract that never arrived, and now he just out of nowhere announced fighting Composis?
Um, well, you know, Cambosis, I don't want to take anything away from Cambosis and his opportunity, you know, at Teofimo. You know, we just, you know, we don't feel that that's a fight that the people think that's the biggest fight that could have been made from quote unquote franchise champion. So, what we can say is, it's a bittersweet feeling, of course, because we know that, I know that Devin and Tio is a winnable fight for us as a team. So it's bittersweet, but at the same time, it's a part of boxing, and we move on.
Well, I know Mike Tyson disappointed too, because Mike was telling Tio, when he was bringing up Composers, he told him. Matter of fact, he cut him off. He cut him
Right.
off. He was like, "Fight, nah, you should fight Devin next. You should fight Devin next." And Tio was like, I should."
Well,
And all of a sudden, it changed. What happened?
yeah, I mean, it's like when you got a chance to fight and it's opportunity, it's he's available, Devin's available. I mean, it's a chance for a true undisputed to be to be figured out, and for him to go the other route, what I mean, of course is disappointing, but I mean it's just a testament to the respect that these fighters give Devin.
Right, right. Now, obviously, we've been talking about money for a long time, and one thing for sure, Devin is one of the highest paid, and he was paid possibly his last fight more than Composers and Tio combined. But Tio came out and said that he's going to make more money fighting Composers in the United States than he's gonna get against.
I mean, like I said, they all get paid a handsome ransom, and once the fight is made, then it's nothing that we can really talk about. I mean, we consider in our camp, in our family, we consider Teofimo a duck. You know what I'm saying? We don't consider him to be the outstanding fighter that, what I mean, the world might see him as. But I mean, different strokes for different folks. If if you tune in and watch him in Cambosos, you know what I mean. You're a true boxing head. I mean, I'm a boxing head, so I watch everything. You know what I'm saying. But the fights that really get me going and excited are fights like, of course, Devin and Tio, or Devin and a Tank, or Ryan. So let's just like I said, it's just one of those things that is very disappointing, right? Because we did everything that we can do to try to entice him to get in the ring. We did everything. We did everything that we possibly could, and so we just have to just wait, man.
Well, at first it was the money. He wanted 10 million. Then now he blaming it on the IBF or ordering the fight. He said, if I don't fight Composers, I'm gonna lose my belt. But
Right.
if that's the case, if you knew that all along, why did you say you're gonna fight Devin? You're gonna send the contract to Devin. You're gonna send the contract to Composers, and whoever get back with him first, he was gonna fight whoever get back with him first. So why say that when you know your only option is Composers? Was he clout chasing, or what's that? What was he doing in your opinion?
Yeah, I think he was. He always does that with Dev. I mean, he's been cloud chasing Dev for a long time. I think now it's time for him to focus on promoting the Cambosos fight. You know what I mean? To leave Dev alone, keep Dev's name out his mouth.
Yes, sir. And now Teofimo Lopez, he showed off 2 WBC belts, and he said Devin got played. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's like I said, what you get the belts for is to show that you are dominating the division, to show that you are the king, right? The behavior that he's been showing since he's gotten the belts, I mean, it speaks for itself in terms of whether or not he's that champion that he was describing before the Lomachenko fight. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, it is what it is. I mean, it's disappointing because he talks a good game. You know what I mean? It would have made for a great fight. You know what I mean? And yeah, you just move on.
So does Teofimo has 2 sectioning fees that he have to pay since he got 2 belts?
The way he talks, he seems like he's happy to pay 2 sanctioning fees, as if, you know what I'm saying. Like, so I don't know. I don't think we wouldn't be paying 2 sanctioning fees for sure.
Is one of
No,
them
we're not.
sectioning fees that NBF witness franchise protection?
It's definitely some witness. It's definitely some witness protection shit going on in there. You know what I mean? It's definitely some of that.
Well, Tio said he got certified as the WBC franchise and regular champion, which make no sense at all because Devin is the regular champion. So how the hell can Tio be the regular champion if Devin the regular champion? You can't have.
I'll tell you what T.O. is. He's the happiest motherfucker at the witness protection program. You know what I mean? I didn't know that they were so happy at that place. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah.
So when he claiming that he got a regular title with maybe I don't know if it's a duplicate belt. I don't know what it is, but when he claiming that is it really a regular title? What's going on? Because he put up a certification, which make no sense because Devin is the regular champion. So you
Right,
can't have
right.
regular champions per division.
Right. And he already understands that Lomachenko was not the world champion when he fought him. He was not a regular champion. He was a franchise champion. So I don't know what you would get a replica belt, what you would, I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we just showed up with a franchise belt now, you know what I mean? And said, we got one too, so the more that he speaks, the more that he puts his foot in his mouth, the more the people, put their foot in his ass.
Right. Now, when a fighter is undisputed, that means there's no dispute at who's the champion, right? But there's clearly a dispute at 135. What is your thought on the state of boxing with so much politics and corruption? I mean, the word undisputed means there's no dispute, but they claim Tito is the undisputed. Even that's a dispute right now.
Absolutely. But I mean, I'm thinking that, what that does is that gives you the opportunity to, as the king, pick the money fight, right? To pick the fight that the people want to see. So I think he's muddying the waters by picking Kambosos and by describing Kambosos the way that he's describing him as a mandatory. And last I heard, I thought you had a year for your mandatory. So like I said, we'll see. We're interested in a couple other different fights that'll get some interest from the people. We always want to do our best to get a fight that the people can get into. The people were disappointed with Gamboa, but Gamboa was definitely, he raised his hand. He showed up. Gamboa has an awesome skill set that we learned a few things from, and we're going to move forward. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a fight that everybody wanted to see is Tio versus Devin, obviously, including Mike. You had the pleasure to talk to Mike. Mike thought this was a foregone conclusion. How you think Tyson feel about Tio breaking his promise to fight Devin next?
I think Mike knew that Tio was just talking. You know what I'm saying? I think he knew that he was just talking. Tio, I mean, Tio's been ducking dead since the WBC tournament, so this is nothing that we don't know to be true. When he got the franchise belt, we knew he was ducking. When he, his mannerisms and all his, his energy that he shows about fighting Devin, right? Next, right? Is I mean, it's all kind of, it's duckish, it's duckish,
Right,
man.
Okay. So you got obviously in the past, I think last year before Tio fought Lomachenko, he came out and said that I'm fighting Devin. Bob sent Eddie Hearn a contract. Obviously, he wasn't telling the truth then, and he definitely not telling the truth now. But
right.
This is obviously another saga of Gary Russell 2.0.
Right.
Now, Gary, though, he came out of the bushes. I mean, he came out and he said that now he claiming that Devin Haney term sheet had stipulations bonding him to multiple fights on the zone. Right now, what's your thoughts on that? When it comes to the term sheet.
Well, maybe we might have something good going on with them people. I don't, now that Teofimo has decided that he has his opponent. Ryan Garcia don't want none. You know what I'm saying? Both of them two, Teofimo and Ryan, then ducked. I think I don't think Gervonta Davis gonna want none. You see what I'm saying? So now we start looking around the landscape, at the next best available opponent, right? and that could be a number of guys.
Right now, well, you had a conversation with him on the Boxing Voice, and he was claiming like that there was stipulations in the contract bonding him to 3 fights. Uh, so what's going on there? Why is Gary claiming that when clearly Devin removed the stipulations and made it publicly known? Right, that wasn't the
Yes.
issue. The issue, according to him, was that the zone wasn't on the contract or something like that. i- in which we found out that was also not true. But this like came out of nowhere because we know Devin removed the stipulations a long time ago. So what's your take on Gary Russell's situation? Because you had a talk with him.
I
It
mean,
was
that was another fight that was disappointing. You know what I mean? We tried to do everything to make that fight. We'll continue to do everything to make that fight. We're interested in that fight now just as much as we were interested in it. It's just that we had an opponent. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to sign the agreement. He didn't want to send anything back. So we had to go ahead with the opponent that was available. Right now, we don't have an opponent that's available. I mean, we don't have an opponent that has said that they're available, so it could be anybody. Of course, we were pursuing on hot pursuit of the belts, right? We also are conscientious of the mandatories. You know what I'm saying? So it could be any of those guys, man. Devin is ready for everybody. It just doesn't make a difference. Just put him in line, and he gonna handle that business. Line him
Gary,
up.
Gary talking about fighting his mandatory for the moment in time. Uh, that's what he told you on the Boxing Voice. He said he got to fight his mandatory for now. So that being said, that's obviously off the table. But have he ever sent you guys have the new term sheet he made personally that he went on Instagram with? Did that ever arrive? Like, did you
No,
guys?
no, 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 no. We never did anything. And it's I'm not, and I'm still open. I'm still open to offers and I mean discussions and all that. You know what I mean? We got great co-promoters and Eddie and them, great partners and them, and they're open. You know what I'm saying? So it just all depends. We present this shit and put it together and see what comes out.
And just to clear in any, obviously confusion, are we free to put the term sheet so they could see there was no stipulation as far as multiple fights?
Mm, mm. Man, listen. That's a road that we traveled down and we traveled down. I don't have any problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the people to be confused. I don't want them to be hoodwinked. But you know,
Right. That's for sure. Now, so if obviously Tio ain't gonna step up to the plate, who is possibly a potential opponent for Devin next? Since Tio's off the table, because I know that was Devin's main objective was to make that fight happen. Since Tio made it clear he's not going to fight Devin next, who are possible opponents for Devin next? That
well, I think anybody in the top 10. You know what I mean? Like anybody. Uh, of course, we've always been. We've always wanted that Javier Fortuna fight. That's a fight we've been pursuing since Showbox. Um, the Ryan Garcia fight, of course, that if he's the interim champion. Then you have Jorge Linares, who's a great fighter. You got Nagatani, who's a great fighter. Um, all those guys are great, man. It's just something that's special about Devin. That gives us the confidence that no matter what, he'll beat him. You know what I'm saying? He'll come out with that win by making the adjustment that he needs to make with any style that is presented to him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, that being said, man, we can't wait to find out Devin next opponent, and we definitely going to be tuning in. Like I said, I always appreciate you, Bill, for always pulling up. I know it's late where you at, but always pleasure talking with you, Bill.
Thank you, good brother, man. You know what I'm saying? Blessings on top of blessings, man, to everybody, man. Stay safe out there, man. Peace.
Sir, peace. Follow Bill on IG as well. Let me read this chat, super chat real quick. Is new media lightweight trolling by saying Errol Spence Jr. is a bigger star than Canelo because Spence sold 3K more tickets in a hometown question mark, or is Errol Spence Jr. legit bigger question mark? Well, he is bigger. I mean, obviously, people lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, and his numbers show that he outsold Canelo Alvarez in Texas. Canelo didn't fight a slouch according to people, right? He fought Caleb Smith. So if that's the case, how come Canelo was outsold by Errol Spence? Errol Spence sold more tickets, and we know Errol Spence pay-per-view numbers, but we don't know Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers because they never were released to the public since they were horrible. I told you guys they completely flopped, in which old media trying to hide them numbers because they want to keep pushing this narrative of Canelo Alvarez being the face of the sport, which he clearly not at this moment in time. Because to be the face of the sport, you got to take chances, you got to fight the best in order to be the best. Now, let me go ahead and pick up a call. How you doing, Aki? Who this is and where you calling from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what's going on, Aki? This is Joey from South Florida.
Yes, sir. Joey, what's going on, man? Glad having you back. So, hey, let me dive in with you on this because Keith Thurman came out and said he want to fight Ugas when he found out that Ugas is now potentially fighting Errol Spence now, you know? So what's your thoughts on Keith Thurman now wanting to fight Ugas? Because I've been telling Keith Thurman for the longest, fight Ugas, because you're going to end up putting yourself in position to fight Errol Spence. Since you're coming off a loss, then obviously Ugas had a great performance against Sean Porter, in which I truly believe he won the fight. A lot of people felt the same as well. Nevertheless, Keith Thurman, he chose to be inactive, and now he claiming that he's trying to kind of block the Errol Spence versus Ugas fight from happening by fighting Ugas himself, because now he want to put himself in position to fight Errol Spence. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, like, some people are gonna hate on it, but that's what you got to do to put yourself in the position to get that fight. You want to fight Spence, you want that to be a super fight again, then go after another champion. Because Spence right now, Spence don't want to give you the fight because of what you did in the past. So get his attention, make him force the fight with you, get a belt. And if Ugas is interested in fighting you, then by all means take the opportunity. But at the same time, I mean, that's just if you get that fight. But otherwise, I don't know. I agree with it. I agree. I think what he's doing is smart. I think he's making the best move to get Errol Spence's attention.
I think it's a smart move. There's no doubt about it. But I just feel like it's a year late. I think it's a move that's a year late. No. You know, he should have made this move a long time ago. I mean, because see, if I know he was coming off a loss to Pacquiao, who was a super champion. Ugas was the regular, I think the regular champion. If he would have fought Ugas, he would have put himself in position anyway. And obviously, Pacquiao would have had to get stripped of his title, vacate his title, or retire, and he would have got elevated like Ugas did this week, right? So I just felt like it was a bad calculation on his behalf because he should have jumped on this opportunity a long time ago. You cannot come off a loss and just sit on the bench and wait till one of the stars like the Crawfords, like the Errol, give you an opportunity, because now it's no longer the same buzz. Now people don't want to. They're not demanding the fight like they used to. I mean, at one point, Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman was the hottest fight at the welterweight division. Don't get me wrong, I still want to see it, but it does not have the same buzz because Keith Thurman lost that O. But while losing the O, he lost a lot of, I would say, I don't know if I want to say respect, but a lot of confidence. The fans had a lot of confidence in him when he was undefeated. But now when he lost to Pacquiao, who was 40 years old, now they're looking at it as, oh, man, you got no chance against Errol if you can't beat a 40-year-old Pacquiao. So I just think Keith Thurman have to put respect on his name by putting himself in position. Now, I don't think he could stop Ugas from Errol Spence from happening at this moment in time because he has no say-so. The only thing he could do is maybe fight the likes of, the only one really left is Sean Porter or maybe Danny Garcia. Other than that, I don't see him getting a key. I don't see him getting a Crawford fight. I don't see him getting. I don't think he would want a Jaron Ennis and even a Virgil Ortiz. He might view that as a risky fight. But I'll say go to Virgil Ortiz, right, if you could get that fight. But he definitely won't be able to block Errol Spence from fighting Ugas. I think that's pretty much set in stone at this moment in time.
I'll say this much. In regards to that comment you said about Sean Porter, he's not getting that fight. Sean Porter recently came out and stated very clearly he wants to fight either Pacquiao, Crawford, or Spence, but he made it very clear he doesn't want to fight Keith Thurman.
Oh,
and he made it very because he said that on his podcast. I remember I literally watched that last night, and he stated it like, make sure to try to get those fights this year, but I'm not looking to fight Keith Thurman. And he stated it because of the fact that Keith Thurman's trying to get those fights, like he's trying to get Spence and Crawford and everything like that. And if he can't get those, he doesn't want to feel like second option. The way he put it, like, oh, that's the backup option. Let me get a shot of Sean Porter so I can get my spot.
Well,
or to get Bud.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's been mixed feelings about Sean. Me and you had, multiple conversations actually on this topic. So what's your take? Yeah. Hold on. First of all, I got to clear this up. I got to know what was said. Remember when Errol Spence fought Danny Garcia? Did Sean say he was the mandatory for Errol Spence and Crawford? Did he say he was the mandatory for both?
Yeah, yes, he did.
Now, you do know if, Errol Spence came out and said that he already fought his mandatory. Danny Garcia was actually his mandatory. So Sean was not his mandatory. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that? Why did Sean say he was Errol Spence mandatory when he wasn't? Because, according to Sean, remember Sean said the fight he really want to fight, the fight he really want to make is Crawford, because that's the one guy he haven't fought yet. But I remember on the same interview he said, but if it, I'll fight Errol Spence next, like if it was up to him, or something like that, like something around the lines. He wanted Errol more, like the way he put it, and the fact that he said he was Errol Spence mandatory when he wasn't, when everybody wanted him to fight Crawford, is not a good look on his behalf. You think he was just misinformed?
I mean, I think so, me personally, and it's not because of Sean Porter's attitude. It's because honestly, I thought he was his mandatory as well, because I've been doing my own research. And under the WBC ranking, Sean Porter is currently ranked #1 under Errol Spence, who's the WBC champion. So I think because of the fact that he's ranked #1, he's under the assumption that he is the mandatory. However, right now I think he's officially only the mandatory for Terrence Crawford, from what I've heard. Because I haven't heard any news about him being the official mandatory for Errol Spence, but in let's say a couple of months or so, he will become the official mandatory. But as it stands right now, I don't think he is. Because Errol Spence just defeated Danny Garcia.
Yeah, so
I think he might have been misinformed.
Yeah, you're right. He probably could have got kind of twisted when it came to that. But let me read the super chat real quick. Appreciate it. Yeah. Boxing should take notes from the UFC and make these guys fight each other. Man, shit. I hope, because it's getting watered down too much. We really have nothing to look forward to in the sport of boxing so far. Like I don't really got nothing to look forward to that I'm excited for, unless Charlo fights Benavidez. Hopefully that comes to fruition. But to get back to Sean Porter, you do know he said, because obviously Bob Arum came out and said that he got $1 million plus an upside for Sean. Sean responded as, man, that's disrespectful. Don't even talk to me about $1 million. I'm not $1 million fighter. Now, I don't know if this is true. Some people in the comment section said his last fight, he got paid $800K to $1 million. But obviously that was a no name. If he fights a name, he will get paid more, if that's true. But nevertheless, on his own podcast, Sean Porter said, he said $2 million is a low blow, really. He said, when it comes to me, $2 million is a low blow, really. It got to be $2 million or better. Now, I got to disagree with. Let me tell you why. Because Errol Spence, obviously, from what people say, that he the biggest star. Obviously, he did more, he sold more pay-per-view. You know, he always sell out a lot of tickets. He's the biggest star at welterweight. He the cash cow. When he fought Errol Spence, that is Sean Porter, that is, he fought Errol Spence when he had a title. They both had a title. It was a unification bout. Sean got paid $2 million guaranteed plus an upside. So he can't request more than $2 million guaranteed against Terrence Crawford when he don't have a title right now. And he just came off a loss not too long ago. So $2 million guaranteed plus an upside is not a low blow. Like he said, I completely disagree with him when he said that. What's your thoughts on that comment?
I mean, I just think in regards to the 1 million comment, I wanted to say what you stated before. I mean, from the sources I read, I heard that Sean Porter made around 1.2 million fighting the mandatory, but whether it's 800K, 1.2 million, regardless, it's around the same price he was offered by Bob Arum. But I think what he means by like it's a low blow to give me 2 million is that he feels as if he's worth more than Kell Brook. He thinks because of the success he made with fighting Errol Spence, how big of a fight that was, as well as the fact that he is a top fighter at welterweight, that he should be getting paid more than Kell Brook. Now, if you ask me, I think 2 million is in a reasonable point because of, like you said, he's not a champion anymore like he was when he fought Errol Spence. So being the mandatory, I think 2 million is reasonable. I don't know. I think he's just trying to see how far he could go with Bob Arum. But at the same time, Sean Porter made a good point talking to Bob Arum when Bob Arum responded to Sean Porter saying, well, 1 million isn't chump change where I'm from. And he kind of trying to put Sean Porter in a bad light, making him seem as if he's asking for too much and everything. But come on now.
Let's make it clear.
We all know what Bob Arum's trying to do.
Let's make it clear. 1 million is a low blow. It don't matter if Sean got paid $500K his last fight. 1 million is a low blow if he's going to fight Crawford. Crawford is pound for pound number one. Exactly. Crawford, one of the biggest names in boxing that draws a lot of numbers. So, yeah, there's no doubt about it. 1 million is a low blow. But now the 2 million mark, that's 2 million with an upside. See, Kell Brook got 2 million flat because the fight was not on pay-per-view. But if Sean fight Terrence Crawford, it's obviously going to be on pay-per-view. So it's 2 million plus an upside. So Sean should walk away with, if the fight sale has projected to sell, which, listen, this fight is hot. I'm going to tell you right now, every time I talk about it, people want to see it, so on and so forth. So it's going to do numbers. I can promise you that. It's going to at least sell 250 to 300 from what I'm seeing, from the interest that is generating. This fight going to generate numbers. So if it sells from 250 to 300K, Sean could walk away from leverage. Yeah, he could walk away with 5 million. After it's all done with the total of pay-per-view, so on and so forth, he could walk away from, depending on what his percentage going to be, maybe even 6 if he receives a good percentage. But since he's the mandatory, I don't expect him to. Now, like I said before, it always could go down the purse bid. So Sean, whatever Bob says should not discourage him from pursuing a Terrence Crawford fight, because if you really want it, the time is now. Because once Terrence Crawford contract is up, he is not looking at Sean. He's not looking to fight Sean. He's looking to fight Errol Spence. Once his contract is up, he's going to go to PBC, in my opinion, and fight Errol Spence. He is not going to waste his time to fight Sean or whoever. So that being said, Sean has to capitalize on the moment right now that Terrence desperately need a big name on ESPN, and he should pursue the mandatory position, because if Bob does not pay him the money he wants, it's okay. Go to purse bid. Obviously, for the people that don't know, Bob Arum offered Terrence Crawford to Al Heyman. He told him, Al Heyman, you could have him for his next 2 fights. Give him 2 names and pay him. Al Heyman is like, nah, I ain't finna pay you and do your job for your fighter. Let him out of his contract if I'm going to do that. I mean, think about it. If Al Heyman is going to pay Crawford, might well pay his own fighters. It's a pandemic right now. Al Heyman, I'm pretty sure he's focused on paying his own fighters than paying Crawford. But the point is, if Porter really want the fight, he could go to purse bid and force a decent split. He will get to know how much there's a budget for the fight, and he will get at least 25% of the money. So that's all I'm saying when it comes to that. But when it comes to Pacquiao, They said that he's negotiating with Crawford, according to Gervonta Tank Davis' trainer. Now, what's going on? Did Ryan really play the shit out of Pacquiao? Excuse my language, but did he really get him to surrender? I mean, get stripped out of his own WBC super belt, and now he about to fight Crawford beltless? Is that what really going on?
I mean, frankly, look, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. If Conor McGregor getting knocked down and Ryan Garcia's Golden Boy CEO calling off the fight is what it took for Manny Pacquiao to finally say, "Screw it, I'll fight Crawford." This is the one time where I won't be too upset with Ryan Garcia because I've been wanting to see this fight for a while. But at the same time, I see what you're saying because Crawford did lose quite a bit because of the fact that Pacquiao no longer has a belt. So if he does fight Pacquiao, it won't be for unification. It'll just be for pay-per-view status and leverage against Errol Spence in the 60-40, 50-50 debate.
Nah, yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, what I was going to say is just that in regards to just Crawford fighting Porter or Pacquiao, I thought about this for a little bit, and I thought, you know what? It's smarter for him to get those fights right now than to get someone like Ugas who has a belt because as it's already proven, belts don't mean age size. It's numbers, and who's going to do better numbers? Sean Porter or Pacquiao or your Dennis Ugas? So, I don't know. I mean, if Pacquiao and Crawford are doing negotiations because of Ryan Garcia failing to secure that fight, I don't see an issue in that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. When it comes to Pacquiao versus Crawford, I always said I don't believe it till I see it because they've been talking about it for till I see it because they've been talking about it for such a long time. And every time I pointed out, Bob is saying this kind of to please Crawford since he effed up a Pacquiao fight a long time ago when Pacquiao was still with Top Rank. When Bob said, yeah, I didn't want Crawford to hurt Pacquiao. Like, really? Like, Pacquiao is a fighter. He fight for a living. He ain't no slouch. Now, you could say, I didn't want Pacquiao to lose to Crawford. I would have believed that. But you telling me you scared for Pacquiao life. This man been fighting his whole life. All he knows is how to fight. So you should have your fighter best interest. So if you care about Terrence, you would have made the fight then. So that's how I always felt about it. So if he didn't make it happen then, I don't believe he's going to make it happen now. Now, what he's saying is that he's losing all this money on Crawford. So, I got to see it to believe it, right? I got to see it to believe it. But if Crawford does land this fight with or without the WBA super belt, he's going to go into the Errol Spence fight with a 50-50 split. I'm going to tell you that right now. If Crawford could get Pacquiao in the ring, like people got to remember, Pacquiao is one of them fighters that, like, he's one of the biggest pay-per-view stars, one of the legends, regardless, hate him or love him. One thing about Pacquiao, he one of the most popular fighters of all time. Now, if he fight Terrence Crawford, and especially if he fight Terrence Crawford, the level of threat, that will sell the fight right away. I'm telling you, if Crawford could land that fight, he will end up the A side. If I'm being honest with you, he might end up being the A side against Errol, but I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Pacquiao 2-year+ layoff fighting Crawford. That's suicidal. Pacquiao is not that silly. Sense. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense for Pacquiao to take a fight like Crawford. It just doesn't. Like, when I think about it, I'm like, this man's 42. This fight was struggling to be made when Pacquiao was in his late 30s. But you're telling me off of a 19-month layoff, you're going to tell me he's going to fight the pound-for-pound best Terrence Crawford? That sounds like, as great as Pacquiao is, that fight just sounds horrible. If I was like, that like, great for Crawford, horrible for Pacquiao.
The reason I don't believe it is, no, first of all, the reason I didn't believe it in the past because it came out of Bob Aaron mouth, but now because someone else is saying it, because remember, Gervonta was the same person that told us Pacquiao was going to fight Ryan, or at least they were in talks. So when Gervonta trainer says something about it, it's more believable, you know.
It caught my eyes.
Yeah, it caught my eyes because I'm like, you know, they know inside information that we not previous to. So it might be true. You know, I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, I believe it when I see it in front of me, because I've been, you know, hearing about this negotiations for the past 5 to 6 years, right? But at the end of the day, fight wise, I'd rather see Crawford versus Crawford versus Porter, as like that's a more intriguing fight for me. A fight that's obviously better. A fight that's better for Crawford is Pacquiao, because that will build his name and make him a household name, which he already is, but it will make him a superstar. Porter fight, it will stamp his name at the welterweight division as being the man, especially if he able to do something to Porter that no one else did. So either fight will push Crawford's stock. So I think if he can't get Pacquiao, fight Porter, in my humble opinion. But what's your take on Ryan claiming that Pacquiao is still on the table? Like Golden Boy president, he said that the fight is off the table. He pretty much washed the fight. He said the fight is not going to happen. Pacquiao team talking crazy. They new to boxing. Even one of Golden Boy's members blocked one of Pacquiao members on Twitter. You know, that's how. That's how.
Sean Gibbons.
Sean Gibbons. Yeah. So you already know about it. So that's how far it went. So what's your take on why Ryan keep claiming people hating on him when is his own team hating on him because Oscar or Golden Boy claiming the fight is not going to happen, and his father saying is an exhibition. So what's going on with Ryan?
I don't know. Like, my thing is he misinformed of what's going on, or what's going on? Because the thing is, what threw me off was that Ryan Garcia is telling everybody this fight's going to be a real fight. But then a few days later, I heard from Henry Garcia state it's going to be an exhibition, but don't be fooled. Just because it's an exhibition doesn't mean it won't be competitive or like a real fight. So I'm confused. It's like your father is saying that this is going to be an exhibition but competitive, but you're saying, no, this isn't going to be an exhibition at all. It's a real fight with our titles on the line. And then the next day, that fight's off. Like, so your dad's saying one thing, you're saying one thing, and Golden Boy's saying something else. So what's going on is my question.
No, but apparently we hating. According to Ryan, he said people hating on him when we missing, like we getting misinformed by his own team, and he want to tell us we hate. So I don't understand what's going on with Ryan. Hopefully he get it together. But that being said, man, I'm glad you feel better. After the COVID. Obviously we're gonna have to chop it up on later on this week because I had 2 interviews today that had to kind of get done with on a time stamp. So I appreciate talking with you, Joey. I know we got something to talk about. I know that we got something to talk about next time. We've been delaying this, so we got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But we definitely gonna chop it up. Any last thing you want to say?
Just want to say to this the Canelo fanboys right there. Just remember, your boy is fighting a mandatory coming off a loss. Just think about that before you guys say it was ordered. Since when has a mandatory ever been ordered when a fight is coming off a loss? Think about that. That's all I got to say.
Right. Facts. Yeah. So, hey, but it was crazy because Benavidez, he brought up the 4-week. I forgot to ask him about that. Actually, Benavidez brought up that Canelo, he don't give his opponents a fair time to train. Like 4 weeks is not a fair time. You can't tell a fighter, hey, I'm fighting you in 4 weeks. Like you got to give him at least a proper 2 months, right? And David Benavidez even had to back off Canelo because he started receiving so much, hate for telling the truth. Like it's so crazy that David Benavidez is telling the truth as a champion, telling Canelo to behave like a champion. He will get so much backlash. Now he can't even really speak his mind because of all these sensitive Canelo fanboys that can't accept the truth. So, like I said, what Canelo should be doing right now is really fight Benavidez if he want to prove he pound for pound number 1. But he want to fight Avni for Benavidez belt that he requested himself to fight Avni. So it just lets you know that Benavidez is the real deal, and nobody want part of him. So that being said, appreciate talking with you, Joey.
Likewise, man. Take it easy.
Peace. before I let you guys, appreciate the super chat, my brother Mont. Is Ryan scared of Haney? Scared? Man, he's shook of Devin. And he know what time it is when it comes to Devin. And I don't like to use the word scared because at the end of the day, a fighter, they put their life on the line. So, but he is afraid of losing. He knows Devin will most likely beat him, so he's afraid to lose. So he don't want to fight Devin because he don't want to catch an L. It's too early to catch an L. If he could go and fight Tank and catch an L there or whoever, and then fight Devin, then it's okay. Like he already got an L. So that's how he look at it, because he know he could fight Devin at any time. He knows Devin willing to fight him at any time because Devin is a real champion. But on the other hand, he felt like he can't fight. He felt like that, you know, maybe he actually feels like a Devin Haney fight right now is too risky, because last time they fought in the amateurs, it was an easy victory for Devin, and Devin got way better since then. So that's why you see Ryan, he rocking Devin Haney belt, claiming belts don't mean nothing. Well, if belts don't mean nothing, then take it off. Why are you rocking Devin Haney belt if belts don't mean nothing? If you want to be, if you want to know how it feels to be a champion and you want to rock a belt, then fight Devin and become a champion instead of being a social media champion on Instagram. You know, but nevertheless, appreciate the love and support. Shout out to OG. Shout out to Joey. Shout out to my man, Mr. Vegas. Man, Mr. Vegas got these decals, got him tight. I see you. Man, T-Tone, man. This man's, you need help. You wake up out of the coma when the show is over. This man wake up off a coma. Oh, AKHi's almost done with the show. Now I could go troll on his channel. And like I said before, last time I spanked you so hard, you lost your memory for a year or two, because it been that long since you've been back. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate the love and support. Shout out to David Benavidez for showing up. I wasn't going to do calls today, but I wanted to talk to a couple of my AKHis. Obviously, I had 2 interviews, so shout out to David Benavidez and Bill Haney for pulling up to Split Decision episode 80. And to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV. Therefore, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and to be continued on the next episode of AKHi TV.
Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.